guys, it's your boy Gsluke here for our round 3 prize picks targets for this week's Zurich Classic. Now round 2 wasn't our best, ended up not hitting on our card, but at least we had the profit from day 1 to go and just donate back on day 2 to prize picks. But really looking forward to trying getting back at them. And for round 3 here, it's a 3-leg power play I have, so a little bit different than most of the videos here when I'm usually taking a look at my top 5 props for tomorrow's slate. It's going to be the top 3 props in this video. Just the board a little bit smaller than we're used to seeing in. I'm not going to force in bets that I don't see there, right? I'm only going to give you guys bets that I'm extremely confident in. And for today, just a 3-leg power play. We're going to start off the video with a review of the weather for tomorrow, the format for anybody not familiar with what a best ball means, and then of course with our top 3 picks for tomorrow. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Alright guys, on the screen you can see the weather report for Avondale, Louisiana, which is the home of TPC Louisiana, the home for this golf course. And the weather extremely consistent here on Saturday from what we saw on the first 2 rounds, which is a little bit of a lower wind in the morning, 5 to 9 miles an hour of sustained winds, and a little bit more significant towards the afternoon. You can see tomorrow we're going to have 12 to 14 miles an hour of sustained winds for much of the day, and right around the 15 to 16 mile an hour range when it comes to wind gusts, which isn't anything super significant, right? It's right around average, I would say, for the American Southeast. So in terms of playing conditions, going to be extremely similar to what we saw on Thursday and Friday. The one huge difference, of course, is going to be the format. On Thursday, we had a best ball format, which is the same we're going to have here on Saturday, which for anybody not educated on it is when both players from a team go and play their own ball on a hole, and whoever ends up scoring the best, that is the score that is counted. So because you have 2 chances on every hole, you're able to be a little bit more aggressive with the other player in your back pocket any chance that you go out there and mess up. Going to see a ton of low scores. In fact, for Thursday's round, the average score was 64.6, which was well under par. Most of these groups took it extremely low. And in fact, a lot of the lower tier groups, people that don't necessarily have the highest pedigree, went out there and took it to 8, 9, even 12 under par in the case of a Taylor Moore and Matthew Neesmith. So with that being said, the reason why we only have 3 props here is there's no overs I like. Every single prop on the board, I could argue for taking the under on. Now, the reason why we have these 3 props specifically is they have by far the biggest differential between my projected score and of course the score that Prize Picks has them at. So at 65.5, all 3 of these props we're talking about are going to need to shoot 7 under or better to go out there and hit. And on day 1, 50 of the 80 groups shot 7 under or better. So that's over half the field. And with these 3 groups specifically, you're talking about 3 well above average groups. So first and foremost, let's start off with the Will Zalatoris and Davis Riley group. Both of them extremely aggressive players, both rookies here on the PGA Tour. I put rookie in quotes for somebody like a Will Zalatoris because he had so many starts last year, though he did not actually have full tour status. But regardless, both extremely aggressive players, both were prolific scorers on the Korn Ferry Tour. And the one thing we know about that tour specifically is you have to be extremely aggressive, one of the higher birdie or better percentage players on tour, to go out there and compete, yet let alone to go out there and win like Davis Riley and Will Zalatoris were able to do multiple times. They're the best players coming out of this rookie class. They're aggressive players, and on day 1, they ended up taking it to 7 under par. So that's right on the metric that we're looking here on Saturday, and today ended up backing it up with another solid round. Ended up shooting 2 under par, really went out there, the ball striking was solid, and that's an alternate shot. So there's no way to hide if any player in your group is going to struggle an alternate shot, that is going to be reflected in your score. So for any of these groups that took it under par here on Friday, that really speaks to how well they were hitting the ball. So I'm confident in both these players to begin with. They played well on Thursday, also played well in alternate shot today, and their line didn't move, right? It was 65.5 there on Thursday. Of course, we also took the under on that slate, so going to go right back to the well. So a group that fits the bill from a aggressiveness perspective, of course, over the first 2 rounds as well, and is one of my favorite, if not my favorite props on the entire board. Next up, let's go ahead and touch on the group of Shane Lowry and Ian Poulter. Also targeted them today. We had the birdies or better prop on Shane Lowry. It went well over, right? They made 6 birdies. Their prop was at 3.5, and they're both elite level putters. That's Shane Lowry and Ian Poulter. So no matter who was putting themselves in position, they were going to be able to take advantage of it. Just one of the better putters on tour no matter the week, but especially at a golf course like this that has undulation. It's a Pete Dye design. These more experienced, more knowledgeable players are going to be able to read the greens better. So you've seen that over the first 2 rounds. Of course, Shane Lowry, one of, if not the hottest players in the world right now, coming in off multiple top 3 finishes, had the 2nd place finish at the Honda Classic. Just everything is going right for Shane Lowry right now. And of course, when he's in a format like best ball, you would expect him to make 5, 6, maybe even 7 birdies tomorrow with how aggressive he'll be able to play. And then Ian Poulter, a great putter himself, right? I would expect him to be able to go out there and put up plenty of birdies. So another group that I've been supporting for the first 2 rounds, and we'll be doing once again here in round 3 in this format. I expect them to go out there, be able to go in pin seek, and given their position on the leaderboard, they have a ton of motivation to go out there and have a successful round. So certainly somebody I'll be backing with my money here. In terms of projected stroke, so might as well go ahead and put it out there. I have Will Zalatoris and Davis Riley projected for right around 73.5 strokes, so well below the 65.5. I'm projected for nearly shooting 9, 10 under par, and for Shane Lowry and Ian Poulter, right around the same score. So just well below the numbers there. Again, if we take a look at the averages there from the first day, pretty much everyone on the board we should be taking an under on, let alone especially the groups that have already done it, like we've seen for Shane Lowry and Will Zalatoris' groups, and also coming in with that good recent form. And now lastly, the last group I'll touch on here is Taylor Gooch and Max Homa, and they're the only group I'm supporting here that wouldn't have hit their prop on Thursday. Of course, they're the reason why we didn't hit for a 5 of 5 for the first round, and I'm willing to go back to them because an alternate shot, they were unbelievable today. Through 12 holes, they were 6 under par, ended up shooting 4 under on the day, are squarely in contention at 10 under par. And both of these players are unbelievably aggressive. So we thought Will Zalatoris and Davis Riley were going to go out there and go pin seeking. I mean, just take a look at Taylor Gooch and Max Homa. Just have no fear in their body. I mean, Max Homa, he's known for that. He's known for being one of the more, let's say, brazen golfers on the PGA Tour. And then you have Taylor Gooch, who's one of the best ball strikers on tour. And today you really saw that marriage between their skill sets where Taylor Gooch was just hitting green after green, and Max Homa with that magical putter was really filling it up for birdie. So tomorrow, if Max Homa can tap into that same hot putter that he had today, I would expect him to make 4 or 5 birdies at the very least, if not 5 or 6. And then Taylor Gooch with that ball striking, especially at a short track like this, he's going to do very similar things. So hopefully they can ham and egg it a little bit, spread their birdies out over a few different holes. And if they're able to do that type of thing, very comfortably could get to something like a 64 or even a 63.5, like I have these other 2 groups projected at. Now, they're projected closer to 64 rather than 63.5. Obviously, them not getting there on Thursday has a lot to do with that. But from a long-term sample size, Taylor Gooch and Max Homa, very much on the same caliber of player as a group like a Shane Lowry and Ian Poulter, and especially on the same tier as a group like these rookies in a Will Zalatoris and Davis Riley. They had that bad round 1. I'm willing to overlook that. Even though it did cost us quite a bit of money there, we still profited on Thursday, obviously. Could have been an epic day. Going to give them a little bit of a pass here and hope they come through. So that's the card I'm going with there. It's going to be a 3-leg power play, like I said before, for 5x. And the card that I have in right now is a $100 power play, right? So if they end up winning, we'll win $500, which would be a pretty nice take here for the 3rd round, especially considering the board at play. All right, guys, that's all I've got for the round 3 picks. Before you hop on out of here, go ahead and let me know down in the comments what your favorite pick on the board is, whether it was something that's in my card or completely off my radar. Would love to hear from you guys down below, so make sure you go ahead and comment that. And of course, also going to have you covered for round 4. So look forward to a video dropping tomorrow night right around 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, covering my favorite props for round 4. Hopefully we have more to choose from. Hopefully we get more than one category. Of course, today, given that it's a best ball format, there's only so much they can do. But of course, I have higher aspirations for round 4. We saw that today. A few other categories like birdie or better that we were able to choose from. And because it's alternate shot, just makes it a little bit more interesting for taking overs and unders. Of course, for best ball, like I said, pretty much every group you could take an under on. Just look forward to that. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of that content to come. We'll also have videos for all of the rest of the golf tournaments for the rest of the year. Best of luck with all of your props, all of your lineups for DFS tomorrow if you're doing that type of thing. And let's get this cash.